Okay, y'all. I don't know if y'all got to come back to a different live or what. Ain't that a bitch? Let me know if you back. Oh, man. This internet hated on me. I don't see anybody's back. Y'all back? Good? Okay. All right. Now, if you're back, did you have to go out and come back in, or was it was paused? Okay. That's good. All right. Let me go ahead and get started. I don't know. This internet gives me anxiety. I pay too much money for this internet, and for it to be bullshitting like this. It's a conspiracy. Yes, Melanie, conspiracy. Anyway, all right. Bad internet connection. I don't know what the hell is going on. Look at the devil. Isn't the devil a lie? I tried to sit up here and start talking about cultural competencies. Okay, so let me just explain something. Like I was about to go in. Let me explain something about racism. Let me explain something about cultural competencies. You have to understand when a black person is explaining something to you. First of all, that's a privilege because it's not a black person's responsibility to educate you or inform you about racism or problematic behavior because it's stressful for us. Okay? It is a lot easier and it's self-care for me to be like, you know what? You can have that by over there. Just like the black lady, I don't know if y'all saw the clip today, who came out with that motherfucker who had the Confederate flag. And she said, you know what? You're not working here. She could have had a conversation and went in and gave him the education lesson. But she said, no, go ahead, keep your Confederate flag on and drive the hell on off. You're not getting my money today, sir. So if we're even having a conversation with you, that's already a privilege because we ain't got to do that. But when we're having a conversation with you, understand that it's not an argument. You're going to receive it or you're going to argue because you cannot do both. It's not to be defensive about. It's for you to understand because there's a cultural competency, there's an experience competency that you don't have. I don't have the competency to talk about queer issues and what is offensive to queer people or what's offensive to Latino people or what's offensive to Native Americans. When Native Americans tell me that something ain't cool, then I say, you know what? I respect that. It's no argument there. So understand another way that people try to shirk responsibility and accountability and actually learning and improving is to talk about what their intentions are. Your intentions don't mean shit. It's the impact that matters. Now, you have an opportunity based on your impact and being educated about that impact and doing better next time. So take that. So when somebody tells you, okay, when you address a black person, make sure you give them their honorifics because that is something that is particularly important to many black, I'm not going to say all, but to many black people, particularly in the South, then you go on ahead and you respect that. It's not an argument. You know, I was watching, going back to the hearing the other day, I was watching Senator Kamala Harris. And, you know, she referred to somebody as Mr. And he said it's, and she said, is that right? Is that the title? And he said, it's General. And so she corrected herself. Okay, General. And she said, thank you for that. That's cultural competency. That's understanding that, you know, you need to give people their proper due. But it's not just about honorifics. It's about anything. If I'm telling you how this looks to black people, then you need to understand that's how it looks to many black people. It's not going to look like that to everybody black people. You're going to find some people who are going to be like, I didn't have a problem with it. And who going to skip to my loo and all the other kind of shit and buck dance for your ass. But if you're privileged enough to find a black person that's not going to buck dance for you and that's going to actually explain something to you, then listen and learn. I remember somebody asked me on this chat last week, they said, what can I do to help racism? What can I do to combat racism? And I said, you could be quiet and you can listen. That's the most impactful thing that you can do is be quiet and listen. And then you take that in and you don't be defensive and then you go on ahead and you do better. And then you recognize other people when they do that behavior and then you call that behavior out. And I don't give cookies, but I do appreciate when I see, you know, white allies who call out other white people And tell them, hey, that wasn't cool. That ain't what you should have done in there. That's not how you should have explained that, or that's not how you should have reacted, and that's not cool. Get your folks, and I appreciate that. So that's all I got to say about that. But anyway, to close up on the Booker McGrath thing, my attitude is simply this. If Amy is the best person to beat Mitch, then she should have no problem beating Charles Booker, Representative Charles Booker, with a $20 million lead and all the things working in her favor. She should have no problem beating that. So I don't care his affiliation with the Sunrise Movement or with the Bernie Bros or whatever the situation may be. If she can beat Mitch, then she should be able to beat Charles Booker. It's not obstruction. It's not tearing anybody down to run in the primary, which he's entitled to run in. That's my feeling about that. Let me go ahead and see what else y'all talking about. Michael says, we need you to go on mainstream cable TV channels with national exposure so you can neutralize the Bernie Bros and ADOS crowd. They're you know what, I appreciate that, but they're not as powerful as they seem, and that's one thing I'm really coming to terms with, that they're not really all that. So, you know, I go hard on them. I don't let up off of them, because I think it's very important, not as much for them specifically, but because you have people like Nate Cohen, who wrote a thread that's just completely not even fact-based, who look at 5 or 6 Bernie Bros who are loud and wrong, and then they turn that into progressives have a problem with Kamala Harris. And then his little funky ass thread makes it into a New York Times article about how Kamala Harris has these problems. That's why I push back on these people, and that's why I encourage you to push back on them. It's not because of not because of the impact on the individual, but because of the impact on the political tastemakers and how they are so hyper fucking sensitive to criticisms of only, of course, the black woman. And that makes its way into mainstream media outlets and things like that. So that's why I push back hard. But in the real world, it's a totally different story, right? But the real world can be shaped by the very powerful mainstream media. So let's see. I'm going to keep going. Shantae says there are some white people that have a problem addressing us by our salutations. Exactly. I'm just wondering if Amy goes by Lieutenant Colonel McGrath. Maybe she does, and she has a right to do that. If she does, and if she wants to be addressed that way, that's no problem. But there also isn't. I mean, there's a history of sexism and misogyny and things like that. And so, if you want to say, well, she needs to be addressed as Lieutenant Colonel or whatever else, I wouldn't even argue with you. And I'm like, okay, you have a point there. You know, but I do know that there is a certain connotation, boy, or you know how black people in particular are put down and not given their honorifics. I know that there's that. So yeah. Shantario says, cultural competency does not mean to make disrespectful comments and then give a lame apology. Go and spend time with the communities you serve. Most of them don't, and it shows. Absolutely. Cyrus says they need to teach black history in schools. Thank you. Archbishop says, wise beyond your years. I have, P says, I have Southern roots, and that's standard. My NY butt makes the adjustment when I'm in the South. Absolutely. All right, let me see. Pam said, I just posted about Reese BW on MSNBC Ari Marlboro thread. They need to have her own. Child, listen, I'm building up my own shit because it's not, to me, it's not about these mainstream media outlets that want you to water it down. I'm not saying people on there water it down, that they just probably their authentic self. But as far as me and what I have to say is unbossed, unfiltered. And so the best that I can do is build my own shit up and say what I have to say. And plus, I love to go on Rolling because Rolling is all about the unbossed, unfiltered. Okay. TJ Haynes says Booker is showing how genuine he is. He actually goes on black media. All right, so let me finish it out. Last topic. I didn't intend to be on here this long. I've been on here for almost an hour. Okay. I don't know why this internet is tripping. But the last thing is, I don't know if you guys saw, I'm not going to talk about it too long, but Donald Trump and Harris Faulkner on Fox News. Somebody said, did Raynard come through? He's supposed to be coming through on Sunday, according to Roland Martin. I think he said 8 to 5, sometime in the evening. I just want to say, listen, I understand that when you're a black person, you're a black woman on, Fox, people are already going to come for you because, they're super racist. I will point out, though, that Harris Faulkner is the only black woman on cable news with a daytime TV show. Not liberal ass MSNBC and not CNN. That could have changed last I checked, but last I checked, it was always only Harris Faulkner that has her hour during daytime TV every day. Every Monday through Friday. So she, yeah, we can talk about how things are jacked up on Fox News, but we also need to hold our liberal and moderate or mainstream media accountable as well. But okay, so Harris Faulkner, now she thought she was doing something because I've seen her interview about her interview. She was like, "Yeah, we went deep, and I really went there, girl. Went there what?" She pushed back on him very mildly. So I'm gonna talk about two comments. Number one, there's a thing he said about chokeholds. She was asking about the chokeholds. Now his comment was very sloppy and trying to make it seem like, well, if you're one-on-one and you choke somebody, then what are you supposed to do? And a chokehold sounds perfect and innocent in theory. No, it doesn't. There's no reason to be choking people. What really stood out to me is how he said, but you have to think about the toughness as well. And it goes back, that just reminded me of a police chief, I believe it was, who said that, who made the claim that black people have like thicker necks and tougher skin. And so like our blood vessels don't, that basically we can withstand more choking. It's racist. So that's completely to be expected from Donald Trump. But then the other part that tripped me out was when it got into the conversation about, and that wasn't included, there was a video and then there was another clip. So I watched a 10-minute video, then I watched this clip. And he was talking about having done the most for black people. And then he said, you can go back to Lincoln, but Lincoln, some stuff is questionable. Now, mind you, the topic was black people. So what are you talking about is questionable? And so Harris Faulkner jumps in and she goes, well, he did, free black people. And he was like, well, yeah, but, still. And she's like, yeah. So she kind of saved his ass a little bit. But I just want to make it clear to the Grand Wizard, David Duke, white supremacist in chief. I'm no Lincoln cheerleader, but it's unequivocally true that there's no bad part about freeing enslaved people. That's not questionable. I don't know. Unless you're a fucking white supremacist who believes that black people should still be in chains, then what's there to question? So that's all I have to say about that. I mean, he's just disgusting. And, I don't even know how Harris Faulkner tolerated it. But I guess, being on network with a bunch of white supremacists all the time, she's a little desensitized. But I just want to say, Harris, girl, I'm not going to drag you. But you definitely wasn't hitting on shit like how you thought you was hitting on, okay? Just be clear about that. So, yeah. All right. Any other comments? I'm going to hop off in a couple more minutes. I'm going to give you guys a couple more comments. Yes. Let me scroll back up. NYC mom. A lot of doctors say the same. That is why the black maternal death is higher. Absolutely. Black people in general have poorer health outcomes at the doctor's office because doctors have a perception that black people have a higher threshold for pain. Doctors have a perception that black people are more hysterical when they're talking about the pain. So it's not just the police that listen to black people saying, I can't breathe, and don't believe them or don't care, as a person was caught on video saying, but it's also the doctors that are actually meant there to provide us with health care. Many of them believe that, for instance, when we say our pain level is a 10, that it's only a 5. And so we're under prescribed pain medication, we're misdiagnosed or we're ignored. And so there are very, very real, results or impacts of the fact that people look at black people as less than human or not even superhuman, but you know what I'm saying? Like we have some sort of animalistic strength. And so that again goes to my comment. It's not about your intent. It's about your impact. Your intent may not be to be discriminatory. Your intent may not be to be racist. But if the impact is that my black ass is going to die having a baby because you didn't want to listen to me, then what the fuck is your intent going to do for me? I'm dead. What is your intent going to do for this person? They dead. Nothing. So we have to move past the intent. We have to move into evaluating the impact and how you're going to minimize your harmful impacts on black people because you're in a position of power to exert negative impacts on people. Let's see. What else? Man. P says, I saw that mess. We are magic. If our ancestors' necks are so strong, then a rally on Juneteenth. Yeah, so much is a mess. Trump never did anything for African Americans, especially his time as a businessman in NYC. Yes, very racist towards black tenants too. Let's talk about that. Happy Loving Day. It was cool for Kamala to shout out Loving Day too. She's a product of interracial or mixed couple. She's married to Doug, who I absolutely love and adore. So yeah, shout out to Loving Day. Shout out to everybody who's been impacted by that particular court decision. Just look at experiments done on blacks, especially black women. Yes, we have Henrietta Lacks, we have the Tuskegee Air experiment, we have so many things. Tyler says Rand Paul submitted a copy of the bill. Yeah, what kind of foolishness is that? Yeah, Rand Paul is so full of shit, introducing the Breonna Taylor Act, or I don't know, he had her name in the act that basically bans no-knock warrants. The Justice and Policing Act does that. So why don't you get behind that instead of trying to exploit a black woman's tragedy for your own political gain after you sat your punk ass out there and blocked an anti-lynching bill? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Rand Paul. No, he's not. But he's a piece of shit. Someone did a thread about medical books still have racist assertions about us. Exactly. Can you please touch on Dave Chappelle and how they're trying to say he attacked Don Lemon? I haven't watched it yet. Tall, Dark, and Lovely. I haven't watched it yet. I do want to watch it though. I was starting to watch it earlier, but then I was like, oh, this is something my husband probably want to watch too. I will say I didn't care for the title 846 because I'm like, really? Like, you're not, it's a comedy special called 846. I just thought that was tacky, insensitive. Maybe once I watch it, it will make more sense. But I just thought, really? Just don't do that. Just name it something else. So I did not care for the name. I started to watch it on. I thought, okay, this is funny. I like Dave Chappelle, but don't do the 846. Don't do that. Lisa says it's so true. My mom was sick. I kept serious notes and stayed on all the doctors and nurses. Absolutely. One of the things that Kamala has talked about in relation to black maternal mortality is being an advocate for your own health and being, very persistent and insisting that you get the kind of health care. And I think that's true. So Lisa, that's great advice. Hey, William. Cucker says, do you think Tom Scott has a good faith chance of achieving change? I don't know. I mean, I think that we need to put pressure on Congress to act on the Justice and Policing Act. I think that I want there to be pressure on the Republicans instead of pressure on the Democrats to accept these piecemeal things that this senator is putting forth and that senator is putting forth. So I think the onus is on us to get the change. We're seeing things happen at the local and state level with the no-knock warrants being banned in Louisville. We're seeing the Eric Garner Anti-Chokehold Act. We're seeing in Colorado with the leadership of State Representative Leslie Herod, who is in State Senator Rhonda Fields, two black women who are getting the qualified immunity taken away, and some other things that they're working on. So we are seeing a lot of local things that are coming into place. So we have to put that pressure on the Republicans to make the change instead of we're doing what we always do. We'll just put the pressure on the Democrats to make concessions. So that's what I think about that. Kate says it's interesting to note too that Biden has hired a lot of Kamala staff and supporters. I do think that's very interesting. My favorite has to be Julie Rodriguez. She's so great. I love her, love and adore her, and I think that she's amazing. So I was really, really excited to see that particular hire from Biden role. Didn't Warren still some of Kamala's maternal mortality stuff? I mean, Warren came out with her own bill. My issue with Warren is that I just felt like she should have given Kamala the credit that she deserved for that. I think she kind of appropriated it. Columbus did is how I refer to it. And I think that she just was very happy to be portrayed as a champion of this issue that she literally had no interest in. And I just didn't appreciate that. I thought it was very exploitive. Okay, so Tall, Dark, and Lovely says he was born at age 46. Okay, so then that makes sense. That's why I said I don't care for the title, but maybe there's a rationale for it. So I appreciate that context, Tall, Dark, and Lovely. I thought age 46 was related to Eric Garner. To George Floyd, because that's still how long he was, strangled to death. I still think, I understand the connection, but come on. Maybe you might want to just do a little something different, even though there isn't a legitimate reason for that. Let's see. Mr. Scott is shameful. Yeah. Hey, Justice. Leo Chrisman. Do you have any inside information on Kamala for vice president? All I have is what my mouth be running. My opinions. That's all I have. I don't have anything insider. But I appreciate it. I think that's cool that people would think I would have insider information. But no, I don't have any insider. I just have my opinion. Kamala Harris for VP. Okay. Whoa. Tall, Dark, and Lovely says, I worked in a dental clinic and there are conversations on how difficult to remove black people's teeth. What? Black people's teeth is particularly difficult to remove? Y'all, these people, then they wonder why black people got all these issues in the health outcomes. All right, y'all, let's see. Steyer stole Kamala Harris's volunteer data. I absolutely love to point that out again. All right, I'm all, they said it was more dense. Oh my God, that's absolutely crazy. What's in the cookout for this weekend? Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up. Hey, Delonte. So we are doing lobster. I know somebody someday is going to pull up this shit. Listen, somebody is going to be so mad. I already know what's going to happen. I'm calling it right now so y'all can refer to this video when somebody going to sit up there and they're going to be like, this Kamala Harris supporter is elitist. Look at her family cook-offs. They be eating lobster. They be eating steak and shit. She's out of touch, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? Yes, there are black families that can afford to go ahead and eat steak chick. Yes, we ate real good. We can go ahead and eat crab. We can go ahead and eat shrimp and grits. Black people gonna eat. Okay? So whatever. I'm saying fuck y'all to those in advance who are going to pull up my tweets and all my family's in kickoffs and all of our elitist food and talk shit. Kiss my ass because all that food was good. So we are having a lobster cook-off tomorrow. Now, just a little funny insider thing is my sister has not won any food cook-offs, right? And so there's a fun part that we cook on a Zoom together. And now it's become a big thing about the staging and the plating. And I think you guys have noticed we've stepped our game up, right? And so there's always that one picture that we get because we have a group text. And as soon as we see it, we're like, come on, man. Like, are you serious? We always kind of know, like, okay, this person is just shitting on all of us. Like my mom, when she made her wings, her teriyaki wings, we were like, ain't this about a bitch? We're definitely losing against her. She did win that week. Now, when my husband made the fried lobster, shrimp, and grits, we know, like, okay. Actually, no, that was close because it was fried lobster, shrimp, and grits. And then we had the crab legs sticking in the skillet of shrimp and grits. So we weren't really sure. But it's very fun. It's very competitive. Very competitive. Season is laughing. See, my sister's Season is in the comments. I forgot Season that she was on there. I wasn't trying to put you on blast, girl. This is Season's week, though. Season is definitely going to win this week, y'all. Just vote for the 4th best item, and that's how we know Season is going to win. I kid. This is not how I want to reward my sister for joining the live. But anyway, come visit us. Lobster here in Canada, $3 a pound. That's $2 in America. It's fantastic. Gerald, I want to get back to Canada. I've only passed through Canada very quickly. Melanie said the food looks good. I'm jealous. Those plates are beautiful. Shrimp and grits cooking now. Yes. Lots of comments. I appreciate y'all for the positive comments. The prize is bragging rights. That's it. Okay, let me tell you how it goes. So we post the thing. I've done the polls now. And then we sit there and we look at the comments and laugh and make fun of each other. And we'd be like, oh, you got to vote. And we laugh at all the very, very funny things that people say. So let us know that you guys are bringing us joy when you react to our food challenge or whatever. So programming note. Tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to have Live with the K-Hive live. We're going to be talking about the defund the police. We're going to be talking about the Justice and Policing Act, and we're going to be talking about, these VEEP stakes. After, so we that usually runs about an hour. Then we're going to refresh the live chat, and we're going to have the after show, which isn't Live with the K-Hive. It's the after show with people who do Live with K-Hive, but we're not speaking for the K-Hive. So that's always fun. We do it live and then unlist it because it's just one of those things. You have to be there to ask questions, to see, and then it disappears into the internet sphere. Okay. So check us out tonight, Live with the K-Hive. I got my mom streaming Live with the K-Hive. She loves it. Yes, I'm so excited about that. So, and then I'll be back on this. I'm doing this Monday through Friday now, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So thank you guys for hanging out with me for this hour and 20 minutes. And I will see you tonight, maybe if you come back live with K-Hive 9 p.m. Or I will see you Monday or on Twitter. Bye, y'all.